Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. Okay, today is Tuesday. Happy morning to you. I hope your morning is going well. Today we're going to show you safety tips when you're baking with your child.
Hi Maddie. Today we're doing our home ec series, Baking with Your Child series. You guys really enjoyed that video, got a lot of positive reviews on it. I'm like, let's continue with it. So I thought, you know, back in the day when I had my older children, like Ashlyn was little, there was not a lot of, there was no YouTube whatsoever. So you learned from like a cookbook, but there was nothing geared towards like kids. There was stuff geared towards like little kids doing things, but there was nothing really towards like middle school, high school. And so I'm like, there's gotta be something out there. So I created, and I'm plugging this, but it's free, a whole series, like a home ec series for I said for daughters. People are like, oh, it's bad you're choosing guys. But at the time I wrote it for her. I did go on to write a book for boys too. So anyways, the first one, but it was all covering basics in the kitchen. And so you can go to my blog, link below. It's free. You can go take it for free. You don't even have to sign up. You don't do anything. It's free. So anyways, Maddie and I enjoyed last week. And so I thought, why don't we bring some of that home ec series into the kitchen? So every single week doing something new, just a little basics and tips and things like that that you can do. So today she's going to make some foods that she enjoys eating. What are we making for her? We're going to learn some blender usage today. Safety tips with the blender, different things to do, and then she's going to make our world famous, what's it called?
Chocolate monkey milk.
Chocolate monkey milkshake. So she's going to do that today. We are actually making lunch right now because I just got home, but it's pizza in the oven. Last week we had pizza too, but this was a frozen pizza that we were gifted a whole lot of pizza for free, and they're like, do you want it? I'm like, yeah, we'll take free pizza. So we have pizza in the air fryer, so that wasn't made, that was just thrown, that's easy. And then she's going to make a couple kid-friendly snacks, and then she's going, what else are we doing? Dinner. We're doing dinner tonight.
Dinner.
What's a dinner we enjoy?
I don't even know.
Do you know what you're making? Oh, do you know what you're doing?
I think it's mac and cheese, peas, and
hot dogs. That's a good meal that kids enjoy eating. And then she got this wonderful set from, she's gonna go get it, that was sent to us. And I think it looks like it can be a subscription service, but I'm like, this will be a great thing to show. And it's like, look what this is.
Can you guess what it is just from the box?
Together we bake. It's Baketivity, which is really cool. So there's like this, I don't know, is it a plug for it? I can share it. We didn't get it.
It's a cake pasta.
But it's basically Baketivity you can do with your child, which is cool because if you don't really know how to cook, you don't need to do things, watch these videos, it's free, but this looks like a subscription that you can send every single month. So it's kind of cool. This gives you the educational activity of it, tells you all about cake pops because that's what we're making, different things, what happens when you do things. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then it gives you the whole, if you don't know how to cook, look at, this teaches you all about the different things like cocoa, salt, what they're for, timers, forks, why you use it, step by step, everything. It's almost like a HelloFresh meal but for kids. So I thought this would be a great treat to make, cake balls. So she's gonna do that as well today too. But first, everybody's starving because we had a late starting morning, that's okay. She is gonna work on chocolate monkey milkshake. You guys ready? We're gonna make some chocolate monkey milkshake? All right, let's go. Okay, so here we are, we're over here. So some safety tips before you start cooking that we never went over last week to share with your child is, if you have long hair, pull your hair back. She doesn't, she should. Sometimes I cook with my hair down, but not always, and I have, but there has been times where kids are like, ew, your hair's, and that's disgusting. So pull your hair back. If you can. People are always like, you keep your hair up. And I'm like, because I cook all the time. The days that I'm home and don't have to make food, it's down. So keep your hair pulled back. You can put an apron on if you want. You don't have to. Maddie doesn't. She's fine.
I don't have to.
She's okay with her clothing, but also in washing your hands, keeping your hands clean before you start. Food is really good because you're touching it, preparing it. Obviously don't, and start with a clean workspace. You want to clean everything off, which I already did beforehand, so that's a good thing. So we're going to be using our blender here. Everybody's blender is different right here, so we're going to use this blender. This is our blender food processor combo in one. So this is good. So the only real tips you have to know with the blender is, obviously do not reach inside and touch the metal blade.
Because there is a blade and that can cut your finger.
It's so sharp, so sharp. I have cut my finger on it before because I was trying to clean in there. Don't ever do that. You really need a way to get it out is put some water with soap, put the lid on and turn it on. That will clean it out. But I live and learn. So another thing is, if you keep it unplugged, that helps as well. Never reach inside. The great thing about blenders now is most come with one of these. Like back in the day, you would do it and you just push the stuff down and hope it gets frozen. But most now I think come with one of these. But you do have to push it down, and this goes in the top like this, and it only reaches to, that's weird because it actually reaches the thing. I did not know that actually all went all the way down. Anyways, okay. I figured to go above it, but that's cool. But this, it's not going to get chopped up. So anyways, so this is a good tool. Never obviously reach in with it going. I have done that. It makes the device go, and I've cracked my thing by doing that, so don't do that. So I'm telling you, don't do what I have done. If you have like some kind of wooden thing in there and you push it down inside, it can get metal or wooden pieces in your food. So then you're eating those.
You do a sliver
in your throat, which is a bad thing. So shut it off and then reach in and do it. Never reach in without it. So that's a good way. Unplug it if you're unsure. Those are all good tips for doing it. So what does that sound good?
Okay. Try to get one that has suction cups on it. Because
smart.
it's harder to move.
That's a great idea because then it doesn't move up. I've always taken like shaking it. I know I've done so many things over the years that I'm like, don't do as I'm telling you, just do this. So we are going to make chocolate monkey milkshake. This is in part of my home ec series. Free, again, there's no plug. You can buy it if you want, but it's all free, no big deal. We've been making this forever and ever and ever.
It's a family favorite.
Family favorite. So what we're gonna do is, because we have a lactose intolerant child, having some today, we've got almond milk. Now, this we went shopping, and it's not the sweetened kind, so I only have a little bit left in it. So I said, let's use some of this up. We might add some of the vanilla one in there, and we are gonna add sugar to it because the vanilla milk would have the sugar in it. You can add honey as your sweetener.
Anything you please.
Anything you please. So you need milk. What other ingredients do you need? You can show them. Milk?
Milk, whatever kind.
You can use regular dairy, anything, whatever you like.
Chocolate milk, strawberry. And then you can get peanut butter.
Or peanut butter powder is really good too. And you can leave this one out. We don't always put peanut butter in it, but that is a good thing to have, right?
And then
bananas. The best bananas are the ripe ones that are brown because they're much more flavorful, which will be less sugar. But we usually freeze ours.
Yeah.
We have a lot of frozen, but these were sitting out. I'm like, let's use those. And then what else do you need?
And then you can have cocoa powder. We have Hershey
cocoa. We use carob powder for a long time because it's a little bit healthier, but I don't have any more of that now. And then we are going to add sugar because the milk doesn't have that in there. So
usually when I make it, I have like a sprinkle of sugar.
She's good.
But she usually has a full cup.
It's hard. Not full. It's not a full cup. It's like a quarter. You might not add all of it. So we're going to mix this up in the blender. I'm just going to add them in. So what's your first thing going to be?
You could add whatever. I usually add bananas.
I'm going to keep this unplugged just for safety. It doesn't turn on. Well, actually, it would turn on if you pushed it accidentally. You have to turn it. So it doesn't really matter. I doesn't say it wouldn't, but you could also just not twist it and then it won't start either. So bananas all smushy and gross. So since she's adding this fresh, you're going to have to add some ice to make it a little bit thicker. But if you add frozen bananas, that will take the, that'll be thick for you. So we're just going to have to make sure you add ice. So it'll be a little bit more, it's more watery, but frozen ones are a little bit better. And you can take and freeze those that way with the skin, the peels on it. And then take it off just when they thaw, and you just basically squeeze it in there, which is kind of gross, but it happens. Or you can cut up a banana and put it in a container and freeze it, or put it in a bag.
Where's the ice cube?
Here's Jensen in the freezer. Oh, sorry, Ben. So she's got that there. She's got banana stuff. She's going to wash her hands on that way, which is good.
Next, I want to add
peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter makes a nice little flavor. Some protein.
It's not open.
Brand new. Hold on a minute. Let me see if there's one in here open. Oh,
there's.
We're going to use this one right here. I was wondering why it was in the cupboard. We've been putting it in the refrigerator, but that works out good. So it might be a little bit harder to scoop it out since it's to the very bottom, but you can do your best to kind of scrape around the struggle.
Can you help me?
Yeah. It's hard peanut butter.
Can't do it.
And it's at the very bottom, so you just get peanut butter all over. So usually, I think the last time someone said I'm not showing you how to measure, I know I'm probably teaching Madeline to cook without measurements, but she will be a really good cook. She won't be sticking to it, and we'll teach her. So like it's a blob. There really is no measurements, but if you were to take this and put it in a measuring cup, we have 3 measuring cups here.
It's just harder to get it out.
This is a 1/4, this is a 1/3, and this is a 1/2. So I would say it's about 1/3 of a cup. A 1/3 of a cup of peanut butter. So, but it doesn't have to be exact. If you love peanut butter, put more in there. So she's gonna put this one in. You're welcome. I know, peanut butter. There you go. So how else could you get it off there? You could
scoop it.
We scrape it, but you're gonna have to. So you can like scrape it on the side, but you're gonna. It's gonna. This is a twisted, like a bent one. Oh, bless you. So if you go like this. Oh. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, sorry, Maddie. There you go. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, keep going, man.
And also, when you're sneezing, don't sneeze towards the food.
Yes, and don't sneeze into your what? Your hands. What's going to happen? It's going to touch everything. I think when everything happens,
sneeze
people learn.
Elbow.
People learn to sneeze in their elbow. So, all right, go ahead. Keep going. What else you can add? Cocoa. How much cocoa? So measurement-wise, let me teach you something because I'm not teaching you this.
I usually
This is a tablespoon and this is a teaspoon. So how much do you think that you're scooping in there?
Either you could do a tablespoon.
Tablespoon.
Or
And a tablespoon would be about one of these.
That's what I do, but usually I add 2.
Yeah, so if you're doing like an exact measurement, like baking what you're gonna do today, you're gonna wanna be exact. You don't have to be for the monkey milkshake. It's all about how much flavor you wanna put in there. So she's gonna do 1, I do 2.
I usually do 2.
Yeah, 2 is a good number for the monkey milkshake.
And you could always add more.
There that is, perfect. She's wondering
Can
about
you get a spoon, please?
Well, you can also sprinkle as much as you want and then taste it. That's a good key too. So then if you want it, but the bananas are pretty ripe, so they might be really good.
I add like this much.
Oh, look at her. She's going to be healthy. That's good. That's a great thing. Perfect. And then you add your milk. We're going to use the almond milk, but like I said, it's not the, we smell milk. Everyone's used to smelling the milk. There it is.
I just add all of it.
How much do you think you should add in there? So if it goes, you want to at least cover your ingredients. I know, again, we're not doing measurements, but what happens is if it doesn't cover it, when you go to blend it, you're going to need to add more, right? So you probably can just add the rest of it. There you go. On my blog, it'll have exact measurements for those of you that need it, but
Then
we'll need some ice. That's perfect. All right, we're going to put the blender to use.
and then
Put that on tightly.
Yes, we want the top and top. I have pushed it where it's flung out everywhere, so put the lid on.
and
Don't
then
worry of that.
you'll want to make sure the little tap thing isn't on 1 or 2 or
And
anything
off.
else. You have to make sure it's on off.
Good job.
Because you plug it in. and
Here we go. So yep, no, it's pretty
blend
good.
it up.
So it's a little bit watery, but she can taste it and see if how she thinks everything is. Taste test. And she might want to add some more ice, but that's okay. We're gonna try.
A little more peanut butter.
More peanut butter? Is it sugar in it?
It tastes more like ice.
Yeah.
More ice.
We're going for some more sugar. Put some more sugar in.
You know what? I'm just gonna add the whole thing.
See, it's just because the milk. If you would have got vanilla milk, it would have the flavor. This does not. That's why it'd make all the difference.
And then more ice. Because I like ice.
Yeah, if you use the frozen bananas, you're pretty much good to not have to do anything else. Oh. So we're gathering up the peanut. If it's just scooping on, it's a whole lot easier. There we go. All right, that looks better. And again, you add as much ice as you want, so it's kind of a just do it and see how thick you want it, right? Well, let's try that one. There we go. That looks better. All right, new spoon. We got a new spoon.
Monkey milkshake is like.
Does that taste good? All right, so that was the key. So that was about a 1/4 cup of sugar for ours because we weren't having it. So this is delicious. She's gonna serve it up.
Space.
She needs to what?
Clean up the
Clean up the space. So she's cleaning up her space right now before we get the cups out. Okay, so the safety tip, what was it?
Always
Always,
unplug it.
especially if you have little kids, because someone can go up, especially walking by and pull that cord and that could fall off the countertop. So if you have it plugged up, it's probably gonna be a little better, but we don't have any little ones, just Maxine. All right. How do you rate your thing?
Probably 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. She did a great job
It
making
would have been 1 more point if we had granola.
Oh, yeah, I don't. And granola's really good. You put that on top. You can definitely do. I just don't have any granola. So, all right, monkey milkshake. Recipe
Highly recommend.
Highly recommended by Maddie. So perfect. Let's eat that, and then we're gonna clean up our mess, and then we're gonna start on. She's gotta do her cake pop because she's gotta start it so it can cook. So we'll be right back. We're gonna start on our cake pops right here. So the great thing about this is step-by-step instructions. So like right here, she can just basically look at the first one. First one says to do what? Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
And preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Most ovens, you just push bake and start, and they turn to 350. That's preheating the oven. We talked about that last week because if you don't, you put your cake in before it'll slowly cook and then it'll burn too much. So you want to do that. The reason why I didn't go over this with Maddie, but they sometimes do the dry ingredients from the wet ingredients is because sometimes you make, like I have made so many cookies over the years, and you get like that taste of baking soda. Remember that taste? And you're like, ew, what is that taste?
That's why I don't like pumpkin cupcakes.
Oh, because she was traumatized by that.
Because they taste flour. That's why I don't like pumpkin.
You get that baking soda. So it's good to mix your dry ingredients because you're mixing up that baking soda right here and then with your wet ingredients. So she's gonna now put the wet ingredients together. So now we're gonna do the wet ingredients. So I had to go over the lesson with coconut oil. You can use like a vegetable oil, which is already liquidy, but we had to actually put ours in the microwave to mix it up. So this is gonna be the next one. She's gonna mix in the oil, the egg, and the vanilla sugar packet. Usually in cookies and cakes, you blend your oily thing or butter with the sugar together. I teach you to crack the egg in here.
I know how to crack the egg.
Okay, real quick, if you don't know how to crack eggs, teach your child to crack them in a separate thing and then dump, unless you do those first in your bowl, which you could have done. We didn't do that. So, because sometimes when you put all your ingredients in the bowl and you crack your egg in there and you get like a big
eggshell.
And if you don't get it out, it's like, ugh. So when you're teaching younger children, maybe crack your eggs first or crack them in another cup and then pour them in. Maddie's a pro. Hopefully it doesn't get a shell. She's a pro. No, she's gonna be fine. She'll just reach and pull it out. So she has to add hot water. So when you're doing a measuring cup full of hot water, look at, like, what if my hand is curved? Oh, like it looks like a half a cup.
No, that actually bothers me.
So what do you have to actually do? You have to set it down on the counter, and then good job. Go down your eye level and look at it. Is that? I don't have a quarter cup. It's half of that is what that is. So we're just gonna go a little bit less. There's no marking on here.
The best skill you
All right, there you go, Maddie. That's halfway, but always get down on that level. Okay, pour that in. Then you pour that in. Just mix it up. We're changing views over here. So what
the hand with the man.
The man with the hand is doing dishes. I think the man with the hand would like to do a cooking segment as well, so we might do that. Not today, but another day. So this is all mixed up. So she's gonna shake that off there. There it is. Smells good. So use your thing, kind of shake it off the sides of it.
Make sure you hit it evenly.
Yes.
So it doesn't fly everywhere.
Like I did with the peanut butter.
Oh, this has eggs.
No way.
I want to lick this.
I know. Who's got salmonella? I mean, I'm not going to say that because someone will say, my cousin of a friend got it. So the next thing was to either put parchment paper. You put parchment paper in here, it won't stick, or use cooking spray. This good spray. When kids spray cooking spray, they always do like a concentrated area. So either teach them, if you hold it up and spray, just make sure that they spray good, or down. I think Maddie knows her spraying pretty good. Just they always spray.
As you can watch the Christmas last year, I sprayed it everywhere.
Oh, did they watched the videos. I don't actually watch them.
And,
if you get it on the floor, okay, so I've sprayed it and then it got on the floor and then you step on it, it's so slippery. So make sure they get it on the countertop. Telling her how to scrape the bowl. I said go down the middle one time and then go on the sides, and she was doing that. But this is you need like a real spatula. This is not a real. I don't even have a real spatula, do I? I know I used to. I don't actually. I just have this one, which is kind of a weird shaped one. So I'm going to help her putting this in because I can feel the bowl. I know how it is. But that's how you basically start at the top, make like a all the way around. So this is good. So here's the cake. So we're gonna put this in the oven for 30 minutes, and then we'll let it out and make it cool. Okay, we've got a nice clean zone now. Got dishes put away, cleaned up the counter, we're doing good. So now, since that's cooking in the oven, and we're gonna use the oven for our macaroni and cheese, we thought we'd start on the macaroni and cheese right now. So first thing, you need a pot of water, and you have to boil pasta. So she's gonna fill it up with water, and then we'll put it on the stove, about 3/4 full. Pop quiz, cold or hot water, Maddie?
Hot.
Why?
Because it's gonna just boil either way. Or you could do any other one.
It says it cook longer, so I guess it depends on what works more, your stove or your hot water heater. I don't know, but we're gonna use hot water on ours. Okay, so she's getting her hot water and put it over here on the stove. It's heavy.
Very heavy and it's cold.
It's very heavy.
Okay. Hot.
Turned out good job. Can you grab the lid up? So you have to be careful with the gas stove, obviously with kids. So teach them, if you had electric, you know, maybe it's a little different, but sometimes they don't know it's on. So just make sure you go over the safety rules of starting the stove. My kids know that everything goes to medium. With these pans, these are the pans that I really like, but you can't cook it on high because it'll actually ruin your pan. So we do medium.
I learned that last night because What's the show called? The
Tasty? It's from
Tasty.
Tasty, the brand Tasty, and it's a Tiny Food Kid Challenge or something like that.
It's really fun to watch.
It's fun, so.
And like all kids around the world, they want to be chefs.
Of tiny foods, because that's like a cool thing.
I'm sure you heard of the little
Tiny food channels where people
Yeah.
like you guys watch that forever. It's like the tiny food. They love watching them make all this tiny food. I'm like, what? That's crazy where they cook like the candle, but it's like huge. So there's a competition. Tasty has it. So we watched the second episode last night, and then Maddie and Steve were like, ooh, let's go do
make
it.
some.
So they did. They made ice cream things.
Because you have a time limit, and we had 10
We did
minutes
a-
to make an ice cream
It was pretty good.
extravaganza thing.
It was good.
So we did that, and then the second theme was dinner. So, I was trying to go for a fancy thing because
It was fancy.
it was like, I don't even know, like 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it was late.
That's usually when we get ready. But I got out the garlic, and I thought, oh, I could just cook.
Garlic with no oil or anything in the frying pan.
No,
Mom.
and I was like, man, I should have put oil in it. And it'll be
She's like,
fine.
Mom, I think your pan is getting bad. I'm
So-
like, do you have it on medium or is it on high?
I put it on low because you can't put it on high.
Yeah, but it burned all in the pan. So,
So
I mean, it was,
my garlic burnt. So
but it tasted really good.
It's
She
really
did.
good.
I don't even know what she put on it, but after I
put
told
like chickpeas and I called it like grown-up stuff because kids don't really.
like chickpeas and things. It was
I
not
mean,
too
I
bad.
love chickpeas,
I thought it
but-
was pretty good. So,
Pretty
tiny
good.
foods. We might do tiny food challenge and show the kids show their things. We'll
And
see what we
Steven,
do
he
it
made
tonight.
like a fruit basket,
Yeah, he had a fruit and veggie basket
and then he had some like.
tortilla chips cut up tiny.
It was really good.
And a grilled cheese, a taki meat grilled cheese sandwich. It was pretty
Evan.
good. It was good. So
It
we're
was
gonna.
really fun.
She did pretty good with it. So we're gonna let's get this water boiling. We'll make macaroni. All right. So the water is boiling over here. So a good way to see it is the steam coming out of it. So she'll have a lesson in opening pans. I did get out a brand new box of macaroni, so we had the right measurements because I just poured into a big container. So this 1 pound will be good. So do you know some tips for opening the pan and stove? Because right now it's so hot. So now what?
Either you have parents do it or you get like a,
Hot pan, yep. What do you feel comfortable with?
and then you just grab it off.
Okay, which way do you grab it and go? This actually can you can use it. Do you go straight up?
You don't go like, you don't.
That's okay. We're learning.
No,
If
you
you
don't
go,
like lift it up like this because the steam will get
Yeah.
on your arm.
if you lift this straight up, I'll demonstrate through my own arm. If you lift this straight up, the steam is going to escape and it's going to come out the edges and burn up your arm.
So
if you do it towards your face,
it will burn your face.
I mean, just
So-
like that just burned my arm right there.
So lift it. Always lift it up.
Oh, away. Like, twist it that way. There you go.
And then
Perfect.
you don't get burnt.
You got some boiling water.
Something
here.
on top of it does.
Something on top of it does. So
Is
now
there
she's
anything
got
in
her
here?
pasta. You can cook the whole thing in. You
No,
have
is
this.
there anything in here like the?
No, it's just pasta. She's wondering if it was macaroni and cheese in a box. No, we're making homemade, Maddie. So that's good. And then when you put your pasta in right away, you can stir it, and then that kind of gets it to, and then you can just let it boil. Sometimes you can put the lid back on if it's not boiling. If you let it come to a real good boil, it won't have to come back as much. So you can stir it. Go ahead.
If you have a shorter pan, you could either get a long one or shorter. I prefer long.
Now, would you use that? Oh, you got stir it. So
Or
as a stick.
you could use the.
Would you use a metal spoon, a wooden spoon, or a plastic spoon?
I would.
Ooh, she doesn't know this tip.
Okay.
Well,
I would say wooden because
And that's
if
good,
you
you said
chose the metal,
what's metal gonna do?
it's gonna.
Do you know?
I've cooked with it, but it kind of.
What happens?
It kind of makes it hotter.
Because it's a conductor of heat, so it's going to come up the spoon, melt your hand. So don't use it.
And then the plastic, it'll melt it.
Yeah, it depends. I think maybe most plastic now is okay, hot safe, heat safe. Maybe it is. I don't know what it is. But wouldn't work. You know, I don't even think you need to put the lid on because it's probably already boiling. Or should we?
I think. Well, I don't know.
You can put it back on. See how it's not boiling, how it stopped boiling? It'll start just in a minute. So you probably put that on for a second. And you gotta be careful because it's gonna want to boil out. So just in about a minute, not very long, it's gonna restart and we're gonna be able to take that back off. So she's doing really good. All right, then we got our cake is cooking. So we're gonna be making homemade macaroni and cheese.
Homemade macaroni.
How we make our mac and cheese, okay, not sure what was on here, but Maddie exposed me. She says we usually make macaroni and cheese from a, but they usually make macaroni and cheese in a box. It's usually I'm working or something, and I'm like macaroni and cheese in a box.
Children,
kids and
make me food. Not
so
really.
that's why we did. But we make it homemade. We make it homemade now. There's different ways to make it homemade. You can do butter, melt that, and thicken it with flour, and then add milk and make a cheese sauce that way. Our favorite is the canned nacho cheese, the cheddar cheese. So
Maxine
in the
was
refrigerator,
falling asleep.
Maddie's gonna get that out over there. Maxine is our watcher. I love
Maxine, she was like,
she's over here.
you know when you like sit up and like kind of gaze off and fall asleep? That's what she was doing when we said her name. She was like,
She's like, what are you guys talking about me? Did you give me some food? She's like, I'm gonna watch. So Maddie's gonna go in the refrigerator. I think the small refrigerator has nacho cheese. I freeze mine. It's cheddar cheese. I keep saying nacho. It's cheddar cheese, like that you put on nachos, but it's not spicy. So that I pulled out of the freezer.
I like spicy.
Spicy. And then we need some milk, plain milk, and regular shredded cheese. I think on the bottom is that.
With this.
I'm gonna get her stove here real quick because this is actually boiling. I can see the steam, so I'm gonna take this off.
Where is the
She's gonna get the milk out and the cheese. Okay, so for macaroni and cheese, this is how we do macaroni and cheese. So is it a recipe? Again, sorry, Maddie. We're gonna take, I got my bigger pan so she doesn't have to struggle with trying to stir it in the 9x13. She's gonna take, we have a big giant bag of this, little smokies that have been in the freezer, and we're not gonna use all this. So we're gonna use about half, and she's gonna put that in our baking pan. We did it. Okay, oven's beeping. It actually shut off, so her cake thing is done. We put the extras in here. This is gonna go for freezing, so we'll have this for another meal. Now, you can take regular hot dogs and cut those up and put them in there. We just have the little tiny smokies, so it's gonna be easy to put in there. So it's good. Her cake is done. We did check it. The way to check cake is to take a toothpick and stick it in the middle. When you pull it out, if it's clean, then you know it's done. If it's gooey, it's not done. It's gooey, so you can open the oven up and get your stuff out of there. I'll put this in the freezer. Let's pretend we're doing this, even though the oven just shut off. So I'm gonna do, with the oven open, this isn't safe. Don't open your oven and reach up on top. So
this thing's not to do.
Don't do this. So here is a toothpick. So you wanna pull out the bar of the oven.
Can you do it?
Yep.
I don't like it. I don't trust it.
There, now stick it in the middle of your cake, because that's where the less cooked is gonna be. So push it down and pull it straight out. So do you see how there's, if you can show the camera. See how, let's see. There we go. See how there's just a little bit of the crumbly? Can you turn it in your hand? That's what you want. If it's gooey, you don't want that. So perfect, that's done. All right, do you want to take it out or no?
I want to try.
Okay.
I'm kind of confident.
She drops it's okay because the cake pops are going to be all broken apart anyways. So we're going to see. This has a handle, so that might help too. If not, it's okay too.
Can you get ready?
I'll get my oven mitt ready. You're doing great. Good job. Boom! You can stick it right here. I'll shut this.
Cool.
Right here. Put it down. I think that's the thin grandma hop head. Sorry, Maddie. Good job. So I think we let that cool. Okay, back to the mac and cheese. So what we're gonna do for this one is we do ours different. We take a whole container of cheese because it's like having Velveeta. It's delicious. So she's just gonna pour.
We also need to make hamburgers.
Yes, we have to make a couple dairy-free. To the nurse tonight, so we can do hamburgers. So she's gonna put the cheese in here. The pasta, when it's done, we'll pour it in next.
All of the cheese?
Yep, you can do all the cheese. So for pasta, you cook it usually for the time that it's there, but we're gonna cook ours called al dente because we're gonna bake our pasta. If you're ever gonna make your food and cook it longer, you don't want it done. So you can go ahead and try one of these pastas. And you can see how it's still kind of, it's not crunchy. Sorry. It's not crunchy, but you can tell that it needs to be cooked more. See how it's not crunchy? You don't hear hard stuff, but it's still like kind of chewy, like it needs to be cooked some more, right? But that's going to be the prime time to stop it because we're going to bake in the oven. So it's going to, the liquid that we're going to put in here is going to make it expand even more. So that's a good thing. So we're going to do this. So you shut everything up. She said she doesn't want to pour it, and that's quite all right. Moms, dads, whoever, she doesn't want to, then you know what? Don't push them into fear. That's it's like every person pretty much will conquer their fears and get over that. I mean, for the most part, right? So like they will be fine. So they
when I'm a mom, my children will have to.
So you know, she will pour her own hot water when she's ready. So again, it's not something that I'm like, you have to or you're gonna be a failure as a human.
I don't know if I'm gonna try.
It's up to you.
I kind of want to try.
It's up to you.
Can I?
You can do whatever you like.
I want to try.
All right, so I'm gonna. So you have to make sure you grab. So we'll walk us through it here. Hold on. So you're gonna, when you're grabbing your pot, you're gonna want to take it like
towards
this.
you.
So you're gonna come this way. I'm gonna put it back down. You put it over here. Like I would do is set it right here so you can see it now. You have to be careful. If you pour it towards you, all that steam is gonna go on you. So you have to make sure you pour into the thing. And you have to keep going. Don't put your face over in it, any of that, because you don't want to burn yourself. All right, so Maddie's gonna conquer fears. We'll skip all that part I said about not making them. Maddie's forced to because the internet people are watching her, so she's gonna do good. So make sure you do that. I'm gonna carry one next to her just in case it gets dropped because
Just
it's hot
in
water.
case, because I'm scared.
Because scalding hot water would not be a good thing for a little girl to have burn on your toes. Pick it up right there and make sure you feel confident how heavy it is. Yeah, so pick it up right there so you know how heavy it is. Okay? And you come over here and set it right here on the stove. Or on the sink. Perfect. Alright, so then you know what you're just saying? She's got this. Breathe. Breathe, Maddie, breathe. Okay, she's doing it, people. And then you're going to pour it right into your thing there. So, yep, pour the water. If it gets hot, yep, that's fine. Come back. Yep, come back. You're doing good. That's good. You did good. That's the key a little bit. So now so that was most of your water. That's why it's going to burn. So when you do it again, it's not going to be as much. So let's do a little bit. You know, come back because it's coming back. The steam. Just stop for a minute. That's okay. That's the beauty of this. The rest you can just pour. Do real quick.
Tell me if I'm like.
I'll let you know if it pours all in the sink. I'll clean it all up. Yeah, there it goes. Good job. Yep, take your time. That's good. As you get older and you do this 10,000 times in your life, you'll learn to just pour real quick. Look at that, though. That's right. She did it.
Thumb cramp.
You're doing great. Thumb cramps are no good when you're pouring your macaroni out.
Makes seems like,
Maddie, give me some more hot dogs. Look at that. Great job. You did it. You did it. Yay.
there's one noodle left.
That's quite all right. You can dump it. Yeah, Maddie. Hurry. One more pasta. Look at that. She did it. How good. Very good. Yeah, it's hot. You can just set it right over there if you want.
Oh.
She did great. So now your pasta, we don't have to rinse it because we're going to pour it right into our dish over here. So I'm going to bring this back over here, slide you down.
That was fun.
That was fun. She did it. Okay, conquer your fear. Only do it if your child's ready. Okay, you're going to take your pasta and pour it in here. So you're going to pick that up, tap the sides in, kind of give it a little shake. A little shake on your pasta. And then you put it right here and just pour it in. It's okay. It's got a little bit of water.
Makes you move.
Pour away. Good job. Look at that. Perfect. Since this is a home ec course, you want to do liquid in your liquid cups and dry in your dry cups. You don't have to in real life. Real life you can do however much you want, but
however you please.
This is for dry ingredients. This is for liquid, even though a cup is a cup and the same one. But I just usually, this is closer to me, so I grab this one. But since it's Maddie, I'm gonna let her learn. So she's gonna fill this up. I know she doesn't, but this is her measuring cup. Since it's Maddie, it's meant since I'm teaching people. So this is the 1 cup. So you're gonna pour it up 1 cup in here.
To the 4.
Oh, right up here. See, bend down. See the 1 right there. That's where you're gonna pour it up to the top. It doesn't have to be exact. This is not a baking thing, so it's just pour until we're probably gonna end up doing 2 cups. So yeah, we put 1 in, 1, and then do 1 more.
That's a lot of liquid.
Okay. So this is where you teach your children to cook. So then you can kind of stir this.
Stir it, and always, never, ever fling it.
Don't fling it. Just keep stirring.
Don't fling it.
Gotta be real careful. Stir slowly and gently. Now, if you don't have the canned cheese like we did, that was 2 cups of the canned cheese. So if you don't have that, hold on, maybe we can come up here.
Yeah.
It's so much easier when you're talking, but seeing what she's doing, can we do that? Okay, right there. So if you don't have the canned nacho cheese, you could use like Velveeta cheese in here and use like a nice block of that. It just helps it be creamy. American cheese slices would do the same thing. So this is good. So the tip for macaroni, so we did 2 cups of milk. Is it always gonna be 2 cups of milk? I don't know. It depends on your pasta and how much you use. If you use hot dogs, all those great things.
No.
So if you can see how it's liquidy, that's what you want yours to look like. You don't want dry macaroni and cheese.
You don't want dry, crispy.
The reason when it gets dry when you bake it is because you cooked it too long or you didn't add enough liquid. So you want to make sure that you do the liquid. So now she's going to add cheese to it.
Next thing's over here.
As well. I'll probably have you measure it because people like measuring. So
I'm not good at measuring.
She's a great measurer. No, she's great. We just don't do, look at my hair thing. We don't do more of a, let's just make it and see how it tastes kind of person. So you can get your cheese over there, shredded cheese. So we're just using a Monterey, cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese. So she's we're probably gonna do 2 cups of cheese. I'm gonna say about 2 cups. It doesn't, again, this is not exact. Baking, you have to be exact. Cooking, you do not have to be exact. You wanna go about this.
There we go.
And that's fine, you can do a little bit over. That's fine. I would do 2 of those over. So basically it's 2 cups with a bunch on, or a cup with a bunch on top. Yeah, you don't have to make it perfectly. Yeah, that's good. You're gonna do 1 right there. Probably 1 more. About 2 good cups of sugar. Or sugar, that's not sugar. Cheese,
Sugar.
Sorry, I'm getting tired here. It's only the afternoon.
Cheese, not sugar.
Maybe do 1 more, 3. Let's do 3. Sorry. It's all about like seeing what it looks like here. I'm a visual and then I know what it's gonna taste like. If you don't have that much cheese, just use 2. That's perfect. Okay, then you're gonna add your salt and pepper. So you're gonna take your salt and pepper right there. A good
Pepper.
is a good pinch, a good big pinch, like a big pinch, like a 2-finger pinch. Yeah, more than that, 2 of those. 2-finger pinch. So grab it like with your finger. They can show you. See, they can show you how. See, that's a good pinch, and kind of sprinkle that on there. Very good. You're gonna stir it, so it's okay if you just drop it in one spot, and then do the same thing for salt. And just do 2 big pinches. It's about 1/2 teaspoon. Myself, I would add my number 1 ingredient, which would be what, Maddie? Mac and cheese. Do you know the secret ingredient?
Secret ingredient.
Let's see. What's the weird thing you can go and stir it while you're thinking. Do you know the secret ingredient to make everything taste great? I think we said it last week. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh.
Chicken bouillon.
That's.
Chicken bouillon, but this might be enough here.
I put that because yesterday we did this
The food challenge, right? And they put that in there.
They put that on there.
All right, get it out, Maddie. Might as well.
What kind? We have like 15.
Well, 1 is beef, 1 is chicken, 1 is tomato. So you would want to add chicken. This is good right here. So this, you can use like you probably have to use a spoon. It is about a teaspoon, so it's going to be about 1/2 of one of the soup spoons, about 1/2 of it. Yeah, about that much. See, yeah, about that much. That's a good teaspoon in there. If you didn't have a teaspoon, or get a teaspoon and measure it if you want. So you sprinkle that around and then stir that in there. And mac and cheese is something you can taste to try the flavor. So I'm going to teach my kids how to taste and cook, because I want you to know to go. Because not every recipe is the same. They might say add this exactly, and then you add it, and you're like, ooh, that doesn't taste good. It's too salty, or it's too whatever. So
It's too salty.
you want to make sure you taste. You want to be a taste cook.
You want to make sure you taste it, just like in Ratatouille.
Like in Ratatouille. That's right. So you want to make sure you taste. So she's going to stir this really good. Make sure she gets all the salt and pepper and everything in there. It's looking great. It's looking really, really good.
Sure.
So I'm noticing something about your pasta here. That to me looks almost like what it would look like when you eat it, right? That gooey. So our noodles still have to absorb some. So I'm thinking to add another 1/2 cup of milk. Don't add a full cup at the time.
Add a whole cup.
Add 1/2 cup of milk, and then you can look at it and see about 1/2 of it.
To here?
Yep.
To 4?
Yeah, about halfway.
No.
Because this is almost as gooey as you want it when you bake it. But this is how you teach people. You can teach them to cook from a recipe. Just like I always think, you can go to college. Like my husband has a lot of people that works in. You can add that. You don't have to pour that back. It's just a tiny bit. It's
has
okay.
to be
It's okay.
exact.
No exact. It's not exact science.
In my
So
world.
like a lot of people go to college for jobs. Like my husband was an engineer, and there'd be these young kids that come out of college as engineers. They know all the book work, but when it comes to really actually putting
They
it
don't actually know how to do it.
because they haven't hands-on done it. So you can follow a recipe and be exact with it, but your food might not turn out perfect every time. So the key is to know how to fix the mistakes, and so that you know it looks good before you ruin your entire food. So see how that's more liquidy? That's what you want. If this was cooked pasta all the way, I would say do it like it just looked before here. Now, if you would have filled it up to a cup, that would have been way too much in here, and I would have been like, ugh, it's milky macaroni and cheese.
Too much.
But again, just add more cheese, it'll absorb really good. So this
No,
looks really good.
we
So then
already gave you
what I
some.
would do is take your little spoon. Actually, it's got chicken bouillon on it. Just take a little taste of your,
Here.
well, you don't want to taste the chicken bouillon, which is good, but you're going to taste that. So just kind of dip this in to get like cheesy, the liquid. Just kind of bend it, just dip right in the bottom. You don't need to eat the pasta. Just go ahead
I
and
will
dip the
eat
cheese.
the pasta.
Well, you want to taste the flavor of the cheese. Is that good? Yeah, just to see, like, right, that's good. Just to get it taste down there. So you want to know if it's too salty, if it tastes good enough, or it's too plain.
Tastes like cheesy.
The cheesy's good?
Tastes pretty good.
That tastes really good. That's pretty good. What we're gonna do here, we're gonna get some foil out and we're gonna cover this. We're teaching to clean as you go, so I told her to clean up all her mess. Now, normally we could add peas to this, but Maddie said she doesn't love peas. So
I don't really like
she doesn't,
peas.
but we like peas in ours. I like frozen peas. That's my favorite because I grew up with that. My kids do not like frozen peas. They like canned
everybody
peas.
else likes
Canned peas. The tiny
I know.
ones. And that's okay. So we're gonna leave this out and we can add it to whoever wants to eat it. So we're gonna cover this in foil. A tip, I just got a notice from one of the viewers said, I told her, yeah, you can put it in the sink, that the shiny side should go towards the food, and she said it does not matter. So it's just the way it was pressed together. So
No.
either way.
I will put it on the sandwich.
So it doesn't actually matter. I learned something new every day. So we're gonna cover that side. So macaroni and cheese, you wanna cover it really well because you don't want the steam. When you cook in there, it's gonna make steam, right? So if that steam escapes, guess where all that liquid's going? Outside your pan and not into your good pasta. So you want to make sure it's around there. I just realized we shut the oven off, so I'm gonna go turn the oven back on so we can put those back in the oven. So she's gonna put this in the oven. We're gonna bake it for about a half hour. I'm gonna put the peas over here. This is good. Go ahead and put it in the oven. Put it right in the middle. Good job, Maddie.
She did it.
She did it. All righty. Good job, Maddie. You're doing awesome with your food.
Thank you.
I think your cake pops will be ready now. So I think the next ingredient, I'm looking at your thing here. What's our next step? We did all this. Now we took it out of the oven. We actually put ours in the freezer to speed up the process to get it cool because we didn't want to. The next is to make the frosting. So you're gonna get out your mixing bowl. This one says to whisk the butter.
I like to whisk.
I told her, I'm like, get the electric mixer. She's like, I'm gonna whisk. So I'm gonna, you know what? We're gonna try it. Maybe they don't want kids using the electronic equipment. I guess we'll see. So I don't know. I guess she can try to see how well she can whisk it with the thing. It might work. But we're gonna use, I can't believe it's not butter because I feel like if I got a stick of butter right now, it's not gonna whisk very good. So we're gonna follow the ingredients and put this together. All right, parents, expect there to be messes. That's part of cooking and doing it with children, and that's okay. I make messes too, but the key is it's okay to make a mess. It's much better than pouring it over the bowl and spilling it inside. I think that looks pretty good. She's mixing really good. So it said to add 1 to 3. So whenever they give you a choice to add like 1, 2, or 3, always do less or half of it, and then see if you actually need to add 3. So ours is pretty good because our butter was a little bit softer, so that looks really good. So the frosting should be really good. So now I'm gonna go get the cake out of the freezer and see if it's ready to be crumbled. So when you get this, see how it's on the sides over here, the powder? You wanna make sure you get it all around so that the cocoa, which isn't mixed with the sugar, will be very good. That looks great. Looks delicious.
This is freezing.
So it's a little warm in the middle. I'm gonna make sure she's not gonna burn herself. Okay, get your bowl. So what you wanna do with this one is basically crumble this in there into tiny pieces. So you just grab her out. There's your spatula, so you're gonna pour that in. So she's just gonna pour this in here and mix it up. So that's pretty cool, and it also has matched the color to the ingredients. So that's good. So based on what your kids, how old they are, that kind of things, they can't read. Down here it has like flour, it is the purple color, sugar, blue. So I don't even know, this company, that's a very cool thing. Baketivity. We got it in the P.O. box.
Yeah.
Not sure where it came from, but it was very, very nice.
Whoever sent it, please.
Thank you. She really enjoyed it. So she's just gonna mix this up right here. So
please.
yes, yeah, that's the hard part. Here.
Mix.
So she's gonna mix this up. So I'm reading through this thing. It says 1 to make this egg-free. Replace the egg with a banana. Another option is to replace it with 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed mixed with 3 tablespoons of water. So that's very cool. Or 1 to make it dairy-free. Replace the butter with any dairy-free butter of your choice, and the milk with almond oat. Yeah, this little bit will be okay for who has dairy. So it just gives you a whole lot of options on things, which is really good. So she's gonna stir this with a fork, it says, and then she's gonna make it into tablespoons. And I'll show you how big a tablespoon is, and then you're gonna kind of make a bunch of balls and stick them on here. It's gonna be good. Okay, this is Mom intervening here. I have 4 hamburger buns, one of the brioche buns. So what I'm gonna do is cook 5 hamburger patties in the oven for the ones that can't do dairy. They'll be here, they'll have them for you the next day too. Just stick them in there. I was gonna put them in the air fryer, but just get a lot of grease and stuff around it. So, all right, we're gonna be back to Maddie.
Step 1, you wanna rinse your celery. Make sure they don't get all gross. Step 2, cut off the ends of the celery. Step 3, grab some peanut butter and put it on your celery.
Little mom intervention here. So it is, you can do it with peanut butter and a knife and putting it on. It just gets messy. We found these great squeezy tubes full, so it's good to be able to, it's okay to squeeze from the bottom and work its way up. It's like toothpaste. So this squeezes out really well. Or put it in a Ziploc bag.
I'm struggling over here.
Or she's doing great. or like a cake frosting type bag, that kind of thing. That'll work really good too. That's good. Perfect. She's doing good. Let me give you a tip. Okay, I bet you squeeze your toothpaste in the middle, do you?
Kind of. I'm almost out of toothpaste.
Look at, squeeze the bottom.
Oh yeah.
And then work its way up, right? Like you.
Step 4. Put either cranberries or raisins. We use cranberries. Step 5, enjoy.
All right, so Maddie made a nice little snack there for everybody to eat, so that's delicious. So again, if you had the peanut butter that didn't pour out, it'd probably be okay. So that's the chocolate, I bet it's good. So now the next,
Smell it.
the chocolate, so good. The next one is your cake balls are in the freezer, they're almost frozen. It's melting the chocolate. So I do like that it has a big, giant triangle on there. It says make sure to ask an adult for help when you see this symbol. This is about melting chocolate in your microwave. Because
I need help.
Well, I know even the kids, you would just think, put it in the microwave and turn it on. Well, that actually burns the chocolate. So you actually have to use the melting, the softening or melt setting, which we have, which I'll show her. But I know last night they did it and I'm like, oh, don't put it in too long because it'll just burn. So we're gonna put it in a microwave safe dish. Not in our, we wouldn't put metal in the microwave, right? So you wouldn't know, we've done that before. We've done that before. So we're gonna put this in here and put it in the microwave. So over on our microwave, on the inside of my microwave, I have a soften and melt little sticker. I don't know if everybody's does or not, but mine says melt chocolate, ST1, soften melt. So right here, you put that in, you push soften melt, and it should be 1. Stir. So that takes it the low. That takes a low temperature, and then you just stir it, and then if you can, it might be melting, and then you'll do it again. So we're doing good. She's getting her chocolate out of the microwave. No, I'm not reviewing this because I don't even know where it came from. But it does have a little QR code, and it says scan to watch this recipe's awesome tutorial video by Madison in action. So again, very, very cool. Like I said, a cool little set. So obviously it's not melted yet. Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
it
It's almost there.
is.
Go ahead and put it back in and push the same setting. So when you're doing something like dipping chocolate, you want to kind of put it in assembly line. So you would grab your cake pops first, then put your chocolate,
And then
sprinkles,
dip it.
in your plate.
Instead of it being like,
Then it's all big roast. Then you have it all right where you're at. All right, man, you might want to use your spoon because you might use it to kind of catch it or stir it. So do one in there, see how it goes. Maddie's doing coming down this way. Maddie's doing really good. She's like, could you imagine if you had to do like hundreds of cake pops over and over and over, like Starbucks? I said, so you're probably not gonna have 20 kids where you have to make a bunch of cake pops for everybody, right?
well,
You might.
either 4 or 5.
Yeah, but you want to do a bunch of cake pops. You'd be like, kids, you only get 5 cake pops, 1 each, that's it.
Well, I'll just take them.
Basically, just go to Starbucks and buy them. No, you can make them. Very cool. These are working out good. They were already hardened up, so we put them over here on this little stand over there. It came with it. Jensen built it. The man with the hand built it for us, so I'm like, very cool. He wants to cook. He likes cooking. I said, you need to cook, but we'll do the man with the hand. We won't do any face, because that's okay. So this is really good. It's looking great. They're looking awesome and yummy. Our mac and cheese is cooking, so we'll have to show you that, what it looks like. And I got the burgers in the oven on a pan, so.
We need more sprinkles.
More sprinkles. I got more sprinkles. She did awesome with the cake pops. The moment, look at how cute that is. All right, Maddie, you're gonna be the cake pop eater.
Let's see.
Which one's it gonna be? These were really a great idea. And this is not a sponsored video whatsoever. I believe it was a gift. Someone obviously saw that you liked it. It's Baketivity. Not sponsored, just show up in the P.O. box. This is the name, so I won't link it below but this is the name of it. There we go. That's the name of the company. So it's very cool. Like I said, if you don't have, if you can do it on your own, do it on your own. That's fine too. It's probably a lot cheaper. But this was really cool to just grab and I'm gonna think people that don't know how to cook very well, grandparents, that, no, I'm gonna say you don't, no, not you, but like, if I wasn't knowledgeable with cooking, like there's some people that just can't cook. There's things that I can't do. So I meant more like, what if I thought, let's make cake, what if I make a cake?
Yes, I know.
I don't know how to make it, that it's like that. So this would be good, like grandparents, ones that don't want to think about what to make, this would be a great thing to get for grandkids, or with me if you have a babysitter, things like that. So, all right, we're gonna let you test. You're the cake pop girl. So that was very good. It's like a dark chocolate.
It was delicious.
With the milk chocolate on the outside. So let's say you don't want to buy these sets. We'll go get a cake mix, make it normal. I think it's just add a can of frosting, mix it up, and then you dip it in chocolate. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. So sometimes I think I've seen people do Oreo cookies with cream cheese. That's another way to do it. So delicious. So Maddie, awesome. You got cake pops done. You did the quick peanut butter healthy snack on the go. We also, what else did we do? We did mac and cheese.
We did mac
and cheese for dinner, which is done.
hamburgers.
And hamburgers. Hamburgers are in the oven. So I don't know if, let's go see if our mac and cheese is ready. It might be. Okay, I'm gonna do a mom test in the oven just because it is hot. The burgers, see how they're cooking on the bottom down here? So you're basically gonna take this off. Now, I would take the whole thing out, but I'm an experienced cook. I mean, even though I burned myself. And you gotta be careful because that seam will come up. So let's see, it might be ready, let's see. It's almost there. Let me get a little spoon here. It's getting there, it's nice and gooey. Look at that cheese. Oh yeah, that looks delicious. That's gonna be a delicious, delicious dinner tonight. Look at that. It's almost there. It's probably like a good, can you see, you can see it. Probably just like another 10, 15 minutes in there. But looking delicious.
Delicious as always.
Mac and cheese, we're gonna let that cook more. Along with the hamburgers So I think that we're done for the day. I was gonna wait till we serve dinner, but I feel like you saw what it looks like. It's gonna be on a plate. It's gonna be delicious. We're actually, the sun is out right now. So I feel like
go in the pool.
I think we're gonna go in the pool. Yesterday we waited and it rained, and so today it looks like it's gonna stop. So we might go do that. So great job. Thank you for cooking with Mommy once again. Home ec once again. She did great. She
you.
saved her chocolate. Her and Steven are gonna do later. Well, maybe we'll film it later and add it to a video, but they're gonna do a tiny food challenge later today. So that was fun.
It was
So
really fun.
you ready to go? We're gonna go clean up. You're gonna put dishes away, which is gonna be nice.
No, I'm not.
I'm gonna go edit a video.
No,
Jensen. It's Jensen's dishes, David. I think Patty will help on that one. So we're gonna go.
And remember, you're designed, created, and selected by God to do great things in this world.
You are like making cake pops for your family, right? Sharing some bright light to people in the world, right? It's a good thing. That's a good thing to do. So have a beautiful rest of your day, and we're gonna see you guys again. When? Well, you're not gonna see him until next week. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Maybe Maddie will be here. I don't know what she's doing tomorrow, but I know I'm gonna be. I'll be here tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.